They didn't leave with a war. They didn't leave with threats, speeches, or farewell parades. They just stopped talking. The Terran embassies on every world went dark overnight. The human trade fleets that once connected the spiral arms vanished from traffic logs. The once constant chatter of human diplomats, scientists, and engineers, gone. No one in the Galactic Council knew how to react. At first, it was treated as a glitch. Someone in the communications division even joked, maybe they're sulking again. But as the hours turned into days, and the days into weeks, the reality set in. Humanity had quietly withdrawn from galactic affairs. No threats, no explanations, just silence. The Council had always found humans difficult, too emotional, too ambitious, too willing to challenge millennia-old hierarchies. The other races, cold, logical, ancient, saw humans as a spark that burned too hot. And so when the Terran ambassador stood before the Council and said, "We're leaving. Take care of what's yours," no one stopped them. They thought the galaxy would run smoother without Terran interference. They were wrong. Trade convoys started failing within weeks. Human-built jump beacons went offline, one after another, their quantum relays desynchronizing without Terran maintenance. Terraforming colonies that depended on Earth-born technicians began to degrade. Even the simplest things, AI logistics, medical drones, power regulators, started to fail. The Council held emergency sessions, each more frantic than the last. "Their systems are collapsing because of deliberate sabotage," hissed a Sthari delegate. "No," countered a Tarek general, claws clicking against the table. "This is neglect. No one maintained the foundations they built." For centuries, humanity had woven itself into every layer of the galactic machine. Their engineers had repaired alien reactors without asking for credit. Their diplomats had ended wars that had burned for generations. And now, without them, the stars felt emptier, colder. On the outer rim, a Zelari captain reported something strange, a signal coming from Sol's direction. It wasn't a distress beacon. It wasn't even a transmission. It was a single, repeating image, Earth, bathed in blue light, surrounded by drifting rings of silent satellites. "Is it a warning?" his crew asked. The captain didn't answer. By the third month, the truth became undeniable. 63% of the Council's infrastructure was human-made or human-optimized. Medical networks, defense grids, trade AI, terraforming control systems, every piece of it, built on Terran ingenuity. And all of it was now breaking apart. The Council hadn't realized that humanity wasn't just another member of the galactic community. They were the thread that held it together. And when that thread was pulled, the entire tapestry began to unravel. 3 months after the humans left, the galaxy began to come apart at the seams. The first reports came from the frontier worlds, power grids failing, orbital elevators collapsing, supply convoys vanishing mid-route. At first, the Galactic Council blamed pirates, then sabotage, then each other. But as systems kept dying, the truth no one wanted to speak aloud began to echo through the corridors of the High Chamber. The galaxy had never learned to function without humanity. In the shining council hall of Araxis Prime, chaos reigned. "The Terrans are responsible for this," shouted a Zelari envoy, his mandibles trembling. "They sabotaged our nav networks before leaving." Across the table, the Tarek general bared his fangs. "Nonsense! The humans would not need sabotage. They were the ones who built the damn thing." Dozens of voices roared, translators flickering as arguments overlapped. Holograms of collapsing star routes flashed across the center chamber. The lights dimmed from power fluctuations, even here at the heart of the galactic government. Finally, High Chancellor Varol stood. The noise stopped. "Enough," he said. "You accuse humanity of destruction, yet they left in silence. You fear their absence because it reveals what we are, dependent." His words hung heavy. For the first time in millennia, the counselors felt something new. Not superiority, not authority, but vulnerability. Because deep down, every species in that chamber remembered something. How humans had always been there, repairing their reactors, mediating their disputes, offering solutions when logic failed. And now they were gone. Outside the Council's reach, things were getting worse. 2 border sectors lost contact entirely. A Veln medical ring reported a complete AI collapse, killing thousands. Refugees fled coreward, spreading fear and rumor in equal measure. Then came the whispers. Freighter pilots swore they saw them, silent Terran ships, black as void, moving information along the galactic rim. No insignias, no transmissions, just long, dark hulls gliding through space like ghosts. One pilot sent an encrypted recording, a fleet of unknown vessels surrounding an abandoned jump gate. Before transmission cut off, one of the ships turned, and for a brief second, a red Terran insignia flickered beneath its hull. The Council dismissed it as a hoax, but when the message was traced, the vessel the sender was in was found adrift, every system dead. Not destroyed, just powered off. In emergency session, panic gave way to paranoia. "They're isolating us," hissed the Sthari. "They're dismantling our networks from the outside." "They can't be planning war," argued the Tarek. "If they were, we'd be ash by now." Then, without warning, every display in the chamber went black. A moment later, a single line of human script appeared in glowing white letters. "You never listened, so now you will learn in silence." Gasps echoed across the chamber. For the first time in thousands of years, the Council realized what it felt like to be small. The outer rim was quiet, too quiet. For centuries, it had been the wild frontier of the galaxy, lawless, unpredictable, dangerous. Now, even that chaos seemed subdued, as if the very stars themselves were holding their breath. The Galactic Council dispatched a fleet to investigate. The vessels were sleek, armed, and bristling with sensors. But as they crossed the last jump gate before Terran space, every system flickered. Navigation grids failed. Comms went silent. Even the shields on the flagship oscillated like they were being toyed with by an unseen hand. "Captain, our instruments, they're all reading 0, whispered Lieutenant Heron, staring at the blinking panels. "It's like the universe itself is offline here." The captain, a veteran of the Terek Wars, clenched his jaw. "Keep going. Scan everything. And for the love of logic, don't make a sound." That's when they saw it. From the darkness of space, a fleet emerged. Not just any fleet. Sleek, black-hulled ships with angular lines no alien design had ever seen. They moved with perfect coordination, faster than any known propulsion. Their formation was terrifyingly elegant, almost artistic, like a predator stalking its prey. The humans hadn't left the galaxy. They had nearly disappeared to the edge. A tremor ran through the Council fleet as their sensors detected the unthinkable. Automated systems began failing on every Council ship. Engines sputtered, shields collapsed, weapons went dead. No shots were fired, no missiles launched. It was as if the Terran fleet had reached through space itself and cut the Council's reach down to nothing. Then a transmission came through. Not loud, not threatening, just calm. "You depended on us. You mocked us. You thought we were simple. Observe." The message carried a weight no alien diplomat had ever felt before. It wasn't just communication, it was a statement of fact, of capability, of inevitability. The Terran fleet began to maneuver, but they didn't attack. Not yet. They were teaching, showing, demonstrating that the galaxy's fragile balance, the trade routes, the peacekeeping fleets, the infrastructure the Council had relied on, had all been human-maintained. Without them, it all unraveled. The Council fleet scrambled to regain control, but their efforts were futile. Every jump point they tried to use was offline, every comm channel jammed, every weapon unresponsive. The humans weren't just distant observers. They were the silent architects, shaping events without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, hidden in deep space, a single human ship detached from the fleet. Through its viewport, Earth glowed faintly in the distance. From that small, blue planet, humanity had quietly mastered the galaxy, not through conquest, but through quiet, unrelenting ingenuity. And now, they were letting the galaxy feel what it had taken for granted for centuries. The Council didn't know it yet, but their arrogance had a price, a heavy one. When the Terran fleet finally withdrew from immediate view, the Council ships were left drifting, powerless, and humbled. For the first time, every counselor understood a universal truth they had long ignored. Humans were not just a member species. They were the backbone. And the galaxy, without them, was broken.
The Council was fractured. For weeks, its delegates argued, blamed, and panicked. Systems were failing, borders were collapsing, and entire star sectors had gone dark. No amount of political maneuvering could patch the cracks. The galaxy had been living on human ingenuity for centuries, and now that ingenuity had withdrawn, the illusion of control shattered. But humanity did not strike with violence. They did not descend in fire. They observed. They waited. Then, one by one, Council communications began receiving a single signal, a brief, elegant transmission from human ships stationed beyond the rim. "We gave you unity. You chose arrogance. Now understand dependency." No threats, no ultimatums, just truth. Across the galaxy, automated systems flickered back online, but only selectively. Supply chains rerouted, energy grids restarted, but only to regions the humans deemed responsible and cooperative. Strategic corridors reopened for peaceful trade. War fleets found themselves constrained by systems they no longer controlled. The message was clear. Humans would allow life to continue, but on their terms. High Chancellor Viral convened a final emergency session on Araxis Prime. His 4 eyes scanned the council chamber, filled with trembling delegates. "They underestimated us," he said quietly. "Not our weapons, not our numbers, our absence." The chamber went silent. For once, pride did not dominate. Fear did. Then, through the starry void above the council city, Terran ships appeared, not in attack formation, not in intimidation, but as a statement of presence. Sleek, black-hulled, impossibly fast, and silently holding the line of space that the Council had long taken for granted. On every holoscreen, delegates watched the display of quiet mastery. Human engineers, tacticians, and diplomats had built a network so seamless, so interwoven into galactic infrastructure that no race could replicate it. And yet humanity had always appeared humble, almost fragile in comparison. Now, that fragility was a lie. One human vessel detached from the formation. Its hull bore no insignia, its engines emitted no noise, yet its presence was undeniable. Through the viewport, delegates could see the pilot, a human figure, calm, observant, partially silhouetted against the backdrop of deep space. The face remained hidden. A single final transmission echoed across the chamber. "We gave you unity. You chose arrogance. Now understand dependency." The transmission ended, and the ships disappeared into the void as silently as they had arrived. The Council was left with nothing but a humbled galaxy, systems teetering between collapse and recovery, and an unshakable truth. Humans were not just another species. They were the backbone of the stars, the quiet architects of order, and the force that held civilization together. And if humanity chose to return, or not, there was nothing the Council could do to stop them. For the first time in history, every species, every diplomat, every fleet commander understood it fully. The humans had left quietly, and the galaxy had learned, too late, the true measure of their strength.